If you've ever Googled how many calories should I eat and gotten 5 different answers, here's how to actually get a personalized number and understand where it comes from. Welcome back to week 12 of our 20-week cut. Today is Wednesday, so that means it is moderate push day or push day 2 or whatever you want to call it. I call it moderate push because on Monday we do a heavy push, and then today we're just getting another push day to break up our legs. On Tuesdays we do a heavy pull, and we use our hamstrings a little bit on that day, and so I like to break up pull day and leg day because deadlifts and squats both use legs. I know they use slightly different muscles, but we use some of the same muscles anyway. That's why I do a push day in between them. So I think, let me check. I don't remember what the workout is. Let me pull up my new workout app, Heavy. This is only the second week I've been using it, but I have been enjoying it. Today, moderate push is incline bench press, shoulder press, close grip bench press, lateral dumbbell raises, and we finish with overhead tricep extension with the cable. So what I like about this heavy push app is that it allows me to see what I did last week. It allows me to see total volume in terms of tonnage, reps, the duration of the workout, and it allows me to check on my progressive overload while in the workout. So most workout apps, like, you start a routine for that day, when you're doing it, and you enter your reps and stuff like that and your weight. This allows me to actually go and check and see the history for a specific exercise while the exercise or while the workout is going on. So I like that about it. Let's go ahead and get set up for incline bench press, and we'll get going. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition as it relates to weight goals, gaining weight, losing weight, maintaining weight, and how you may or may not want to use AI to help you come up with a nutrition plan. Incline bench press dumbbells. We will do our warm-up 50%, 50%, 75%. Our working weight is 160 pounds, so we've got 80. That's 40 in each hand. Ooh. Most TDEE, that's total daily energy expenditure, calculators just spit out a number. You should eat this many calories and this much protein, and they don't really give you an explanation. On the other hand, you can use AI tools like Claude or ChatGPT, and they can walk you through the math and explain the formulas and adjust the numbers to your specific situation. And I built a system prompt that does exactly this. And I'll show you how to use it, or just talk to AI and have a conversation and get the same results. I'm just trying to get creative with camera placement. It might be too weird. We'll see. Second warm-up set. Ugh. Okay, before you start asking AI what your calorie needs are and what your total daily energy expenditure is, you need to know a few things ahead of time. So you need your weight, your height, your age, your sex. You need to know your goal. Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to bulk? Are you maintaining? Are you main gaining? Are you doing body recomposition? Are you prioritizing muscle gain and fat loss? Do you care how the weight comes off? I don't have an idea what your goal is. If you're losing weight or gaining weight, you want to know how aggressive. Are you looking for like mildly aggressive, or basically you want to know conservative, moderate, or aggressive. And then you need to know your activity level. And this is basically used as a multiplier for your daily energy expenditure. And AI can help you figure out what your multiplier should be. So you need to be honest about your activity level. Do you work a desk job? Do you resistance train? Do you walk? Do you do cardio? And be conservative, because you can always add calories if you're losing too much weight or not gaining enough weight. It's a little bit harder and more confounding when you think that you should be losing more weight than you are based off of your calories. And lastly, optional but helpful if you have it, if you know your body fat percentage, that can give you a little bit more accurate calculation. Or if you've tracked your macros before, or if you've gone and gotten tested for your actual metabolic rate and you just happen to have that. Not many of us do. I did happen to go and do that, and what I can say is what it proved to me is that the algorithms and formulas out there for calculating energy expenditure were pretty accurate for me. So just know that if you know what your energy expenditure is, that can give you a more accurate calculations when it comes to losing or gaining weight. All right, warm up set 3. We've got 60s in each hand. Should be about 75%. All right, set 1 of our working set of incline dumbbell presses. We've got 80s in each hand, that's 160. I can't remember, I think we're shooting for 6 or 8 or something like that as far as reps. So how do you actually use AI then to get from these inputs into an actual calorie and protein recommendation? A couple of options. You can use a system prompt like I did, paste that prompt into a new conversation with Claude or ChatGPT or whatever, and then it'll ask you questions, and it'll even make sure that you give it all of the required inputs, and then you'll get your numbers, and it'll show you all of its work and its math and give you explanations and ask follow-up questions. Second option is just to ask directly, start a conversation. Say, hey, I'm a 200-pound, 5'10" male, 35 years old. I work a desk job. I lift weights 4 times a week. I want to lose, 0.5% of my body weight per week. What should my calories and protein be? Show me the math. And then that key phrase, show me the math, will make sure that the AI will explain and not just give you a magic number. Ooh. Yet another angle we're testing out for the camera. All right, we got 160, shooting for 8. All right, so you give ChatGPT the prompt, or you ask it the questions and it gives you the stuff back. What are you looking for in the response? You want to make sure that it's calculating your BMR correctly, your basal metabolic rate. And then you want to make sure that it's using either the Mifflin-St Jeor, or if you're using body fat percentage, the Katch-McArdle algorithms. Those seem to be the most accurate. You want to make sure it is giving you the correct activity multiplier based off of your personal activity level. And you can ask it to give you examples. And you can say, hey, maybe there's a nuance here. Maybe every other week I go mountain climbing for 4 hours or something, whatever it is. Like, you can be nuanced with it and ask it to give you a customized activity multiplier. You also want to make sure that the deficit or the surplus calories that it calculates is based off of a reasonable, whatever the calorie surplus or deficit that it gives, that it shows you the math of how it did that and gives you the explanation, and you can ask it to double check its math. And what I love is that it also needs to give you a protein recommendation. And again, with everything that it does, it needs to rationalize. It needs to give you the rationale and the reasoning and the logic behind it. And you can ask it to double check its work. And the great thing about doing this with AI is you can interrogate it. You can ask it questions. So why did you do this? Sometimes just simply asking a clarifying question will allow it to catch errors that it made. Just come in with my system prompt. I did this along the way. I had it, why did you use this number or this formula? And simply by asking it why, it's like, maybe I should have done this other thing, because there are multiple ways of coming to the same conclusion sometimes. But that's the great advantage of using AI, is that it is a conversation that you can direct, that you can prod, that you can have it double check itself, that you can say, go research this and come back and give me an updated answer. All right. Last set of incline dumbbell bench. I know I've been bragging about this new push-pull legs routine that I came up with ChatGPT. One of the things I like about it compared to my old routine is that my Wednesday and Friday workouts previously were just like a catch-all upper body accessory day. Switching them to be a more purpose-driven and intentional push day and a pull day, even though I labeled them moderate push and moderate pull, the intensity is still subjectively, at least anecdotally to me, and probably if I look at the volume, is more intense than the upper body days I was doing before. So while it's not as intense as the heavy push and pull days, it's not quite as lenient as it was before. So I think it's pushing my muscles a little bit more. I think it's probably giving me a little bit more calorie output. And I think on the whole is going to be more beneficial to my goal for losing 40 pounds in 20 weeks. Dumbbell shoulder press. We've got 55s. We're shooting for 8, it looks like. So why does the AI calorie calculator beat just one of these other online calculators? Well, at the end of the day, if the number that you get is the same and it helps you meet your goals, there's not really a big benefit. The reason why I like it is because of the explanation that you can get, right? So you're not just getting the numbers, you're understanding the numbers, hopefully. That ability to ask follow-up questions. What if I increase, my resistance training from 4 days to 5 days, or my workouts from an hour to an hour and a half? Or what if I switch from push-pull legs to, upper body splits for 2 hours or something like that. You can get these very specific scenarios. And then you can also ask, what happens in 20 weeks when I've lost 10 pounds, or in 40 weeks when I've lost 15 pounds? How does that change my number? So AI can give you the context that a calculator just simply can't. It'll tell you, at your body fat, you might want to slow down at this point, or you can afford to be a little bit more aggressive at this point versus this point in your cut. That's the other thing, because you can also give it more context, and I want to do it for this long. Or you can ask it follow-up questions about diet breaks and deloads and how that factors in. And finally, it's iterative. You can build a plan, and when you're asking these follow-up questions, you can change it. You can say, oh, if I add 2 days of cardio, that'll allow me to eat another couple hundred calories, right? Because I'm expending that energy elsewhere that is increasing my activity multiplier. So you can iterate and change your plan based off of personalized goals, things that you're willing to change and compromise and move to make a plan that works for your lifestyle and your needs. All right, shoulder press set 2. Oh. Last set, shoulder press. This is a good little girl. Good dog. All right, we've got close grip bench press. I don't know, 3 sets of 6 to 8 or something like that. All right, finally, the last and probably most important part to know about coming up with these calorie and protein targets with AI is that just with calculators, these are just starting points. These are starting point base numbers. No calculator, no algorithm, no AI tool, at least so far, knows exactly what your energy expenditure is and how that's going to fluctuate from week to week and fit in with your plan. So what you need to do is get your initial numbers and try it for 2, 3, 4 weeks and see, track your weight and track your food and calories and protein and see, does it line up? Does the weight loss or the weight gain line up with my expectations? And adjust from there. So this cut that I'm on is 40 weeks and I wanted to lose 20 pounds. So that's 2 pounds per week. So I set up my calorie goals to be in 1,000 calorie deficit to try and target 2 pounds per week. Now, after a few weeks, it became clear, yes, this is working. And I kind of knew that because I've done this before in the past. And I've known that, if I shoot for like 1,900 calories a week, that typically works if I can stick to it. But then I also know I can't necessarily stick to 1,900 calories a day. I know that some days I'll be higher, some days I'll be lower. So that's why I came up with a specific plan for me to shoot for a target of 1,600 for most days, and then know that a couple of days are going to be higher in like the 2000s. And then that's going to be an average of 18 to 1900 or a deficit of 1000. So that's my plan, and it has yielded 2 pounds per week so far. So thumbs up. All right, a little brief interruption. Of course, no time has passed for you, but I had to go talk to the contractor for a project we're doing. But I'm back, and we're on set 2 of close grip bench press. So okay, I had 8 on the first one. Had lots of rest, like probably 10 minutes or something, way more than normal. So should be able to get 8 here. And that's it. I'll link to the system prop in the description if you want to try it out, or just feel free to start a conversation with ChatGPT or Claude. What I love too about using AI, like a lot of these online calculators are free as well, but you can use AI and ChatGPT and stuff on the free tier to do this stuff, and it's really good at it. So just make sure that when you do use AI that you make sure that it shows the work and explains itself, and have it double check itself. But yeah, let me know in the comments if this is something you've tried before, or if you're going to try it out, or when you do try it out, how does it work? Does it give you good numbers? Is it way off? Have you been doing it for a while like me and it's working, and it's the at numbers, you've proven the numbers over several weeks, and it's given you the weight loss or the muscle gain that you've been looking for? Let me know. All right, last set of close grip bench. Alright, we've got lateral raises. Got 20 pounds in each hand. Go shooting for 12. Spin down. Set 2, lateral raises. Bailey, no. Probably look like a crazy person. This is my dog. Sure to stick around. We will do our daily check-in. If you are new to the channel, not only do I walk through my workout every day, I also go over what my weight was that morning and exactly what I had to eat the day before, what my calories and proteins targets were, if I hit those or not. And then I kind of talk about my plan over this 20-week cut, and how I'm on track or not for that. Do I need to make adjustments? All of that. And I do this because when I was first starting out, that was one thing I didn't really see a lot of. People will talk generically about how to get started, but to me, it would have been really helpful to just be able to shadow someone. What exactly are they doing for their workout? What does their form look like? When are they increasing weights, decreasing weight? How did they get their calories and protein targets? How do you even track your food? Like, what does it look like when you hit a goal or you miss a goal? And so that's why I try each day to show you what my workout is, and then show you what my actual nutrition for that day and that week looks like exactly, so that you have an example of what works for someone. And it's maybe not like the gold standard of what bodybuilders do, but it's something that has anecdotally worked for me. Last set, lateral raises. Here we go. Okay, so let's do our check-in. This morning I weighed in at 188.9. And you can see that's quite a drop from even yesterday at 190.5. That's 1.5 pounds. And this is just kind of common. Like, we'll see weeks where just the scale's not moving much, everything's pretty steady, and then all of a sudden, 1 or 2 days you'll see a drop of a pound or more. And that's why we weigh ourselves every day at the same time after going to the bathroom. I do it in the morning before I have any water or coffee or food, so I get the most consistent results. But that's why we do that every day, so that we can look at the weekly average. That's going to cancel out any weird fluctuations from day to day. So the weekly average last week was 191.3. So to hit the 2-pound goal this week, I'm looking at to try and get 189.3. So to get my average down, I'm going to have a few more days below 190. 188, 189 I'm going to have a few more days of that to hit my goal. To hit that goal, I'm going to be shooting for hitting my calorie targets of, somewhere between 16 to 1800 calories. Yesterday, I was on the higher end, 1800 calories. It's because I was just feeling a little stressed at the end of the day. My family had breakfast for dinner, so I had a piece of bacon that I normally wouldn't have had, and I had a piece of chocolate I normally wouldn't have had. Otherwise, the day looks pretty similar to the previous day, and I would have had, 1600 calories and almost 180, almost 200 grams of protein. As it is, it's only 152 grams of protein, 1800 calories. I'm not worried about it. The day before that, I had 200 grams of protein, 1600 calories. So again, just like with our weight, for calories and protein, we look at the weekly average. So today, I'm probably looking at another 1800 calorie day because it's my son's birthday. So we had donuts, and I can't say no to a donut for some reason. When my family has donuts, I just can't not. So that's an extra 300 calories today. I'll try my best to kind of rein it in and stick to high protein, low calorie foods. We'll see how that goes though. Anything else to touch on? I don't think so. Yeah, you can clearly, if you're interested to know more about what I eat, one of my videos this week is what I eat in a day. And I show exactly the foods that I ate on the 1600 calorie, 200 grams of protein day. So you can see exactly what that looks like, not on an app, but in real life. So feel free to check that out and let me know if you are thinking about starting a new nutrition plan, starting a cut where you're going to be in a calorie deficit. Let me know if you found the AI nutrition plan strategy helpful or not. Let me know in the comments if you want to try it out or if you have tried it out. Thanks, and see you next time. All right, first set, overhead tricep extensions. Let's see if I can remember how I got set up for this last time. All right. Last workout exercise of the day. If you have a trick for getting these tricep extensions into position, let me know. It seems to be the hardest part of this workout. The workout itself is like great. Just getting here to this position, it's hard. And letting it down gently. That's it for today.